Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys this amazing pistachio financier recipe. A financier is a light French cake that's super moist and almond based. They were originally created for people who worked in the financial district because it was super easy to just grab them on the go and eat them without staining your fingers, but now I just eat them in my kitchen at 2 a.m. in my pajamas. But we're going to put a little pistachio twist on these today to really step them up a notch by adding a really light, beautiful pistachio whipped cream and dipping them in a crunchy pistachio glaze. So if you want to learn how to make these little desserts, keep watching. So we are going to start by bringing 113 grams or 1 stick of butter to a boil. Lower the heat and allow that to simmer for about 5 minutes or until the bottom of the pan starts to brown a bit. You want to stir this to keep the base of the pan visible to you because the bubbles at the top are always pretty pale. And if you don't pay attention to that bottom part, you might burn it. So once your butter has reached a lovely caramelized tone like so, turn off the heat and set that aside to cool. In the bowl of a stand mixer, we are going to sift together 150 grams or 1 1/4 cup of confection sugar, 35 grams or 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 grams or 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 16 grams or half a tablespoon of cornstarch. Then you're going to add in 100 grams or 1 cup of almond flour and 2 grams or 1 teaspoon of salt and give that a little whisk to combine everything. And add in 42 grams or 2 tablespoons of pistachio paste and 167 grams or 2/3 cup of egg whites and paddle that just until everything is combined. Be sure not to overmix here. Once all of that is homogenized, begin to slowly stream in your cooled brown butter until everything is mixed well, and your texture should look a little something like this. Now I'm going to transfer our batter into a piping bag and allow that to rest for a minimum of 4 hours, but it's best overnight. Now we are going to begin piping our batter in about halfway, and these are going to bake at 350 for 15 to 20 minutes. Now let's move on to our pistachio whipped cream, which is super easy. All you're going to need is 3/4 cup of heavy cream, whip that to medium peak, and whisk in 1 tablespoon of pistachio paste. The pistachio paste that I'm using is already sweetened, so we're not going to add any sugar or anything like that because it's just not necessary here. It just helps to keep the overall dessert really balanced, and you guys know I'm all about balance. And I will link in the description below the pistachio paste that I'm using. It's from Cocoa Berry and it's absolutely divine. Like, catch me in my kitchen funneling this in the middle of the night. And for the glaze, we are going to melt a 2-to-1 ratio of white chocolate and cocoa butter or coconut oil. Cocoa butter will give you a harder shell that really snaps when you break into it. Coconut oil will give you a similar effect, just not as aggressive, and I feel like coconut oil is kind of a pantry staple for all of us. So for this recipe, I am using 200 grams or 1 1/4 cups of white chocolate and 100 grams or half a cup of coconut oil, and we're going to melt that in the microwave in 30-second increments. Once it's melted, I'm going to add 25 grams or 1 tablespoon of pistachio paste and 4 to 6 drops of a gel-based food coloring. Be very cautious with the food coloring. We do not want this to be an offensive shade of green. We want it to remain really natural. So just add in a drop at a time until you have your desired color. It should look something like this. Then we are going to add in 50 grams or 1/4 cup of finely ground and toasted pistachios, and we are all ready to dip. Now I'm going to pull my cakes out of the freezer and stick them with a toothpick, except I don't have a toothpick, but I'm Arab, so I do have shish kebab skewers. So I'm going to stick them with a skewer and dip them just until that top edge and scrape off any of that excess and repeat until you've finished all of your financier. And lastly, we are going to pipe our gorgeous pistachio cream, and we are all done. that is it for today's recipe. I hope that you enjoyed this one. We all know that nuts are super healthy, so I'm really excited that we were able to get some healthy fats in today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what other recipes you guys want me to make here, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Money, throw it in, booty bouncing, go ahead. Rolls Royce, Lamborghini, Blue Medina, always beaming, rag top.